My graham crackers fell. Hold on, y'all.
Oh, that's important. She needs her graham crackers.
For tuning in to another edition of All Day with the Alis. I am the co-host Felicia C. Ali, and this is my lovely husband
Sharif Ali II.
So today
wait, before you do that, you hear the background. It's because our child is watching programming, so just wanted to put that out there. Yes.
Educational
yes
programming. Okay.
So Felicia, did you put up in a status?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah, so she put up a status. Some people were inquiring about our lives, and so she said we might as well put up a status. So she had a Q&A. She said it would be a Q&A session. Anyone who has questions, you can ask us. And so now we're about to answer the questions that you guys had for us.
But we unfortunately aren't able to get to all of them.
Right.
But we try to get as many as we possibly could. But
right.
you got to remember, we have two little kids that we're trying to tend to. We've got BB here right now taking care of baby Saya, and we had to let baby Sharif watch early programming in order for us to go ahead and film this for you.
So if we don't answer your specific question,
we'll have another one.
We'll have another one, please. We love you.
Okay.
All right. You want to read it? Or me? Okay. The first one?
Yes.
Okay, someone says, how did you guys meet? You want to say that?
You go ahead.
Church is how we met. Church is how we met. And the interesting story about that is I never wanted to date someone from my church, let alone marry someone who went to my church. So that's how we met, and I'm glad that happened.
What had happened was he was dancing, and he was 16.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was Christmas. He had on all white. He was at the Swan Street location. I was down the way. Popped in. I'm like, shorty is looking right. And my homegirl like, girl, leave people kids alone. And I'm like, I'm going to marry him. Hashtag, that's mine. Hashtag, light skin going to be mine. Hashtag.
She did it.
I did it. So over time, he was young. I was like, maybe.
We were both young. I was younger. So I was 16. She was 21.
23.
No, you were 21.
Okay. And so I decided that I was going to, fall back because I didn't know how old he was at the time, but I knew he was younger. And so, I waited a couple years, more than a couple, had a couple situations, and asked him would he sing a song with me.
Right. Which I didn't know that was her hitting on me.
That was my loop.
I didn't know.
So, yeah. How long did you date before he proposed? Do you know this? I know it. Look at you. You're close.
Wait. 4 years for 1,000, Alex.
Nope, 3.
I was about to say 3.
We were together for 3 years before he proposed, and we were engaged for a year and about 3 months. So total, we were together 3 years before you popped the question.
Mm-hmm.
4 years before we actually got married.
How did he propose? I think you need to say
this one. He proposed to me. He proposed with a diamond ring. I started crying. He placed it on my finger and I didn't say yes. Remember?
She did not say yes.
I was so overwhelmed.
She didn't say no, but she was overwhelmed. So I whispered in her ear and said, babe, you didn't say yes. And she
I was
said,
like,
yes.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes.
But how did I propose?
Okay. So, my job, Juneteenth, is like the biggest event of the year, right? So he's like, you're not going to Juneteenth. I'm like, I'm absolutely going. But needless to say, I didn't go. So he's like, we're gonna go somewhere, get an outfit like you would go to the red, like you would go to on a red carpet. And I'm like, turn up. You know, my favorite color, our favorite color is cobalt blue. So I get this satiny cobalt blue outfit, dress out. It's so beautiful. We'll show the picture here. And he said, well, pack a bag. I'm like, pack a bag? Where am I going? I can't be gone all weekend. He's like, pack a bag. So we pack a bag. We're on this road trip. I have no idea where we're going. And I'm trying to figure it out because we're passing states. You know, I'm like, what the crap is going on? Needless to say, we end up in Washington. So, of course, you know, when you're dating someone for 3 years, anytime he says I have something to say, you're like,
is this the name?
So I went through that like all summer. I'm like, is this the time I wasn't 30 yet. I was approaching my 30th.
Right.
No, I just turned 30.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't have time for this. Either you gonna marry me or nah, you know, basically. But he was like, or nah. So so we're in this long road trip. We're talking, we're laughing. We end up in Washington. I'm like, oh yeah, he not gonna propose because this is like the least romantic city on earth. We're in Georgetown. So we end up at this beautiful hotel. I mean, this hotel was so clean that I like walk barefoot. I don't walk barefoot nowhere.
And clean is important to her.
Clean is very important to me. So this hotel is beautiful, and we spend 2 lovely days sightseeing. And I'm just the whole time I'm like, oh, I thought he was gonna propose, but we're at the White House and we're looking at Abe Lincoln, and then we go to this beautiful lounge, a jazz lounge. I mean, I was at the time I was very artistic and into that whole thing. So it's dark, it's gloomy, and we get to the door. This is the funny part. We get to the door and the lady says, reservation for what day? And my husband says today, which was June 18th. And the woman says, no, sir, we have you here for tomorrow, June 19th. So he's freaking out. He's sweating. Like, he was bugging out. I'm just so caught up in the ambiance. I'm like, calm down. We can come back tomorrow. It's no big deal. He's like, no, has to be today. Has to be today. I don't know what's going on. I'm just looking around. So nice. So finally the lady says, well, you can take a seat, ma'am. He's fidgeting around doing whatever. I'm enjoying the scenario. I'm sitting at the table. He says, I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom. So he gets up. Again, I'm just la 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 la. He comes back. He's like, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, you just went to the bathroom. What is going on? I'm never thinking propose. So I'm like, whatever. I'm listening to this lady. She's it's just wonderful, right? He comes back. And we are people watching the people next to us. Remember? They were a couple. The man had on a ring. The woman didn't. So we're like,
She don't really love him. He love her. Yeah.
Right. We're doing all of that. And then out of nowhere, he's got something on his phone and he's reciting. And I'm like, because the jazz singer is singing. I'm thinking about this couple. They're like this close to us. They're talking. And I just see his lips moving. I'm like, he's so cute. I don't know what he's saying, but he is so cute. And then he says,
I don't have much, but I have this one thing. I hope you, my love, accept this.
And then he gets down on his knee.
Ring. So, yeah, I get down on the knee. I ask her, will you be my wife? Or will you marry me?
And he's smiling. He's
and
so cute. Like all his teeth are showing.
It was something like a movie. Everyone's clapping and standing.
And I'm like.
And as soon as I said it, that's when the jazz singer, she said, and this song is for Mrs. Felicia C. Williams, soon to be Mrs. Ali. And then she busts out in her jazz song specifically tailored to Felicia in our moment. But while she's singing, I'm like, babe, you didn't say yes. And so she said it. And I'm like, she said yes, you know, so everybody's clapping. We went outside, we took pictures, and the whole night, we're just like, wow, we can't believe this happened, right? It was just a festival.
Well, I didn't say yes, because I'm thinking, this man.
Yeah, why didn't you say yes?
Well, I was processing. First, I was like, how did he afford this? Then I'm like, wait, he gets lost, and he doesn't ask for directions. Am I going to be okay with that for the rest of my life? Oh my God. Is this the man I want to be? Is this the last man I want to be with forever? Like, I'm thinking you don't have long to process this, but I'm sitting there like, you don't want to say yes and then say no. You don't want to say no and then you mean yes. I'm sitting there like panicking. And then I'm like, I love him. Who am I kidding? And so, yeah.
And that was the proposal.
And for 2 years,
let me tell you why I took her to a jazz.
Oh, right, tell me.
Yeah, because the reason I took her to a jazz restaurant is because in our courting, she mentioned how she would love to go to a jazz to a jazz lounge or to a blues alley, right? So I kept that for 3 years, and I remember I always knew, I said, this is what I'm going to do for my soon-to-be wife, for Felicia. I am going to take her to a jazz restaurant and propose to her. Something out of a movie.
What else did you do so wonderful?
What?
So the reason why he was going crazy is because my grandmother meant everything to me. Mm-hmm. And the anniversary of her being, dead, was June 19th. But that would have also been the 18th year of her passing. And 8 is the number of new beginnings. So he wanted to propose on June 18th.
At 8 o'clock.
At 8 p.m.
Right.
To signify new beginnings. And he wanted to kind of change that time of year for me. Which was like, that was everything. You know what I mean? That was so sweet, and it was just so thoughtful. And it was so you back then.
Yeah, now I'm a husband and dad. I don't have time for no romance. No, seriously, I do. I'm just talking out of my mouth.
Yeah, so that's our whole little sweet little thing. My little thing. Okay, moving on. What's the age difference between you and the mister?
This is our thing. I say 5-6 years. She just sums it up as 6 years, but at one point we're 5 years apart, and then a few months later we're 6 years apart. So I don't really know what that is. I'll let her win. I'll say, well, we're 6 years. It's a 6-year difference.
Well, his birthday is the very last day of the year. It's December 31st. So you might as well say he's born next year, because even though you're not, but kind of you are. But we can go with 5 years.
Okay, I'm good with that. Okay, it says if you and Sharif do have another baby, what would you name he or she?
Well, we were going to name...
Will we stick with the S's?
For sure.
Okay, so we had a conversation that if we were to have another boy, and we had this conversation like 2-3 years ago, if we were to have a third child, we would name the boy Sadiq.
Silas.
What? Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, listen. We named out a whole bunch of them. It was Kavi, it was Verse. Kavi was for a boy, Verse was for the girl.
That was when we were like boyfriend and girl.
Yeah, when we were dating. And then it was Sadiq. And
not
then,
even really real.
For a boy. And then for the boy it was Saigon.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Oh,
yeah, but then I was like, Saigon is a rapper on Love and Hip Hop. So, right. Silas. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Silas would be the boy.
Saya's name was supposed to be Soane.
Right.
Saone. For Sharif Ali's one, as in Sharif Ali's first.
So if we did have a third child and it was a girl, we'd name her Soane?
No.
No?
She's not nowhere near one.
Right. Yeah, that's
So that's why we're giving you this information.
Right.
Okay.
What is a PK? She's going to take this one right here.
Okay, my mom is very sassy. Her name is Pandora. My siblings and I have coined the term PK, hence Pandora's kids.
Right. Some of you church folk may think that's pastor's kids. Definitely not.
No.
It's Pandora's kids.
It's when we're being sassy, we call ourselves PKs.
What's boo loving? Boo loving is a term that I coined how many years ago?
Oh my God.
No, when Sharif was born. That's when it started, right? No?
No.
So perhaps the year we were married. Boo loving is simply just our time to just boo love. You know? So just to be all on each other, free, lovey-dovey.
Right.
That's boo loving time. And now what happened is Felicia and I have less boo loving time. And Sharif took that, and now that's him and mom's time. And he says, Mom, boo love? So that's what boo loving time is. Says sex yet? What can I say? No. Not at all. We're not in the safe zone. Well, I mean in terms of penetration, but you can see in the video that's on the link right now that Felicia did do something special for me.
The next question, stretch marks. Did I get any? I got a couple. Maybe like 5.
I don't know how she counts that because it literally looks like just one to me. It looks like one little half circle.
That's what he's supposed to say.
And it's little.
But it's not.
You can't see it.
You can. So yes.
You can.
And if you watch the future video, I have what I did to get rid of them. How are you guys balancing romance time? Okay, so what we do, what we've been doing since we've only had 2 children for 33 days, we take little moments like during her 3 o'clock feeding. You know, he'll sleep on the couch and I'll get on the couch with him and, you know, we'll just kind of snuggle, wrap our toes around each other for like 20 minutes. Or like today, was it today? We actually got to French kiss for like a half hour.
Right. That was crazy.
Yeah.
It was like a long one.
How are you guys balancing career? Well, I don't know yet because I haven't gone back to work.
And I balance it around my family.
How are you guys balancing parenthood?
A lot of communication. I think Felicia, when I do wake up and, you know, because I've been struggling waking up, and Felicia's been doing it on her own in the morning time for a few days, but I came back, right? So anyway, we're up in the morning and her and I, we talk every morning about what the day is supposed to bring for our children and how we're going to do it, who's going to be with what child, if she's going to stay home or not, which is 90% of the time she has to stay home because of the weather. But that's how we've been balancing out.
And just always trying to incorporate baby Sharif into every single thing
that we do with
Saya. You know, so like if, you know, people are visiting Saya, we try to, you know, give our attention to Sharif. In the morning when baby Sharif wakes up, I like to give Saya to her dad and I like to just be with my son because I know that throughout the day I have to give her a little more energy. So big Sharif has been spending primarily all the time with baby Sharif. I've been spending the time with the girl. And then but in the morning, I'm sure to get my time in with my son. And at night, you know, that's kind of when we do our boo loving. And so I think we're just trying to find our flow. We can't really say that we've fully acclimated ourselves into having 2 children because we haven't gone back into the workforce fully yet. So we don't really know what that looks like. Right now, we're just kind of winging it. Mm-hmm. How am I adjusting? I guess maybe that it was just how am I adjusting. So I guess it's how am I adjusting to having another child. Maybe I don't know what the end of it is, but it's so hard. I'm not gonna tell you like more than anything. I love being a mother. I mean, literally, I love you and I love being a wife, but being a mother is just so fulfilling. It's so rewarding. It's just so overwhelming, but it's so overwhelming. And so adjusting to having 2 children, balancing your time is kind of splitting everything between 2. One who needs you more than the other one, but the other one obviously needs you too. It's hard work, and wanting to constantly make sure that my husband also feels like he's the number 1 priority it's a lot of juggling and a lot of work, and it can be stressful, especially when you can't go outside and have wine. VBAC versus cesarean, which recovery time did you prefer? You know, vaginal is not the way. I just it's so many things going on with my lady part that just didn't have with the C-section. I just had a C-section. I don't know how other women say I couldn't walk. The healing, it wasn't like that for me. I was able to get up the next day. I was walking around. I was walking up and down the stairs. I was squatting. I was making breakfast, ironing clothes. But my vagina still hasn't recovered from the vaginal, which is weird. I'm still cramping. I didn't cramp when I didn't yeah. So I would have to say that I preferred the C-section.
Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to vlog? Because we wanted to chronicle all the moments with our family, and more importantly, we wanted our children to have something to look back on, because they're not going to remember these years, Syed as a newborn, Sharif as a 2-year-old. But when they're older, these videos will still be in cyberspace, so they'll be able to show their children, their children's children, and these memories will continue to live on.
And the final question, why not just do home videos?
You know what? I think that for me, home videos are great, but we're an open book. We kind of shared our lives with the world when we were engaged, and even before that, dating and then the engagement and then the marriage. So we figured might as well just continue it, right? And show you our children and how they're adjusting to life and how we're adjusting as parents. So that's for me.
Yeah, I'm just not really into silence. I mean, we give you what we want you to have. Obviously, you know, we try to do what we do tastefully. Um, I don't know. I know those super private people, you know, they exist. That's cute. I just think that there's two sides to personalities. Actually, there's multiple sides to personalities, but you know, you have those people who are open and you have those people who are not, and I'm just not. Now, when we've talked about how long we're going to do it, we don't know. We've talked about how it affects our children, and days where Baby Sharif has days where he'll go, no, you know, no vlogging.
And we'll respect that.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really not that big of a deal to us. We're not having sex on here. We're not.
Right.
We're not.
Doing any soft porn. It's
Yeah,
none of that.
it's fun. It's family, and it's helpful. I think to other people.
Helpful for us because we get to look back on the footage and see our day and you know, see the the beautifulness in it, and become very grateful for it. But also, we realize that it's helpful for those of you who are looking at this video right now. Can't tell you the amount of emails and comments that we get from people saying thank you for sharing your lives with us. And so we know that, you know, we're being used as vessels.
Yeah.
I think to help other people change the demographic and of their family and how they deal with their children and also their spouses.
Yeah. And another thing, sometimes you just don't, you have questions that you're afraid to ask. The private people, for example. There's some things you just wouldn't ask. Some things that you think you know that you don't. And some things that you don't know to ask, but you need the information. And so sometimes having a glimpse into other people's lives kind of stimulates conversation. Unfortunately, I hear our son starting to talk in the background, so I'm assuming that his programming is over, and I'm tingling, which means that Sai is ready to eat. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. As always, thank you for watching. And if you want to connect with us on Facebook, just inbox him or me. He does love coaching on the side, so if you want to talk about relationship stuff, inbox him.
Or you can inbox me on 331lovelife@gmail.com. Or you can hit me up on Facebook, Sharif Ali II, or my other Facebook, which is attached to the 331, which is Mr. Aim for I Am.
Thank you for watching. Blessings.
Good job, babe.
Thank you.